So there is a false idea that we see in society today that is projected both in the media, by the mainstream health narrative, and then also even by a lot of everyone's favorite biohackers and just like health diet gurus in general. And that is the idea that in order to get healthy, to get truly, naturally, vibrantly, vivaciously healthy, you need discipline, you need to work hard, and you need to spend money on gimmicky supplements and gimmicky health products, apps, any of these things to actually, truly become your healthiest version of yourself. I'm here in this video to tell you guys that this is absolute bullshit and basically just preach the idea to you that when it comes to health and when it comes to achieving health better than 99% of people, less ultimately is more. To kind of paint the picture, I'll make you guys think of, like, there's a meme going around on social media, and that is the meme of the lion. So people say, like, the lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of others. The lion doesn't concern himself with exercising or trying hard or working hard or putting in a lot of effort, effectively is the whole idea. And you can think of this lion out in the wild, in the savannah. Typically, the male lion that is like the leader of the pride, he doesn't even do the hunting himself. He doesn't even work hard in any way to satisfy his biology and to maintain his health, and he purely just follows his instincts, his intuition, and he doesn't stress himself more than he has to. And this completely applies to us, except most of us have forgotten like this natural intrinsic mentality that less is more, that we really should be doing the naturally healthy things that we are drawn to do, that being, for example, eating healthy food, which I'll touch on in this video, sleeping really well, resting really well, which ultimately the lion knows, but because of the brainwashing that we've been exposed to today, most of us have forgotten it. Now we're actually sacrificing our health to try and meet some superficial quotas, metrics of, exercising an hour every single day, or getting in like certain green supplements, smoothies, a lot of this bullshit stuff that actually has like no natural biological evolutionary basis. So yeah, getting right into it. If you guys watching this video are lazy, which is maybe why you clicked on this video, because the title kind of got you, this is going to be the perfect guide for you to get healthier than basically everyone you know, with an extremely minimal amount of effort required to do so. Yeah, getting right into the first habit, it's going to be sleep. The laziest way to get healthier is by working on your sleep, which, effectively you're not going to be putting much effort in because you'll be sleeping all throughout it. But all of us do already know, just by experience, the difference between a really deep, good quality sleep and a sleep that was, disrupted. It wasn't super restful. And even if it was like long in duration, we still woke up feeling, quite tired, fatigued, and ultimately felt like we needed more sleep to begin with. So the way that we can get more from our sleep, which I always say is like the absolute basis, your sleep, your circadian rhythm, is your basis of health, your hormonal composition. Essentially, the way we can get better quality sleep is by optimizing our environment, only ever so slightly, to mitigate the biological environmental stresses that would lead to disrupted sleep. Because it is a science, it is like an actual mechanistic thing that's going on in the body, despite our ignorance to it. And one of those mechanisms is going to be blue light. So maybe you know it, when the photoreceptors in our eyes and in our skin are exposed to blue light at night, so unnatural blue wavelengths of light that usually are going to be emitted from LEDs, from our devices, from even like little flickering lights in our rooms on like the air conditioner, for example, our bodies release more cortisol. So it signals to our bodies that it is daytime, and this cortisol is antagonistic to the melatonin that should be secreted and released to prompt a deep restorative sleep and to get us drowsy and to get us tired and to promote healing and restoration in the body. An example that kind of paints the picture on like how this small change in the quality of your sleep can like lead to the accumulation of toxins, poor repair, and ultimately disease down the road is in night shift workers. So out of all working demographics, night shift workers, out of any conventional, normal, regular jobs, they have the highest rate of cardiovascular disease, metabolic syndrome, and cancer. And this is due to their extremely poor circadian rhythms, which is due to the extreme amount of artificial blue light they're exposed to at night. So because their body is in such a constant disarray, their sleep quality is absolute dog shit. Their body is in a complete state of havoc 24/7, and they're never actually able to cleanse and clean the body and repair the body as we're meant to be doing when we sleep. It's really one of like the lowest hanging fruits to improve on. First thing that I'm going to recommend to you guys to mitigate blue light exposure at night, because we're lazy, we're not actually going to be wanting to put away our phones, because maybe you guys like to scroll on TikTok or play Clash Royale at night, or like enjoy your lazy life, which is great. What you want to be doing is making sure your phone is turned to red light mode at night. So if you have an iPhone, you can simply go to your accessibility settings, go to color filters, and apply a red color tint, which you can then turn on and off just by triple clicking the on button on your phone. I'll put a video on screen here. Super simple to do, and this will basically be an actually effective version of like the night shift mode on your phone. So it'll get rid of any of the blue light wavelength that you would otherwise see, that would otherwise keep you awake. And you can just really turn this on anytime past sunset, and it will mean that your body will naturally get drowsy and get tired when it's meant to, and your sleep will be a lot deeper and a lot better quality. This also extends to like the lighting in your room. So it's as simple as just like dimming the lights in your room, because dark essentially signals to our body and our brain and our nervous system that is nighttime. But then also like replacing our LEDs for incandescent lights, for example, for red lights, or even like candles that are all going to have like far less of this blue light wavelength. Yeah, I mean, maybe you need to like put in 15 to 30 minutes of work to like set this up, all of the lighting and everything. But then past that point, it is a very lazy way to maintain your health. The next thing is going to be when you're actually sleeping at night, your room needs to be completely dark. So getting like blackout curtains, covering or switching off any like little electronics that have like a flickering light. And the reason why we can't just put an eye mask on at night is because what I already said to you guys is that we have photoreceptors in our skin. So even our skin is going to be sensitive to this blue light. So to get the absolute deepest sleep with, the very least amount of effort, you just need to like make sure your room is dark. It's very simple. Now, I just want to emphasize that the reason why I'm starting off with the sleep is because I truly believe it is the most important with my one-on-one clients, with everyone inside my community, before I get into any of like the advanced start modules, any of the advanced detox stuff, which all, sounds nice and fancy and like is appealing to everyone from like an excitement point of view. Sleep is truly the fundamental thing that you first need to get down pat. Otherwise, all the other habits are going to have negligible benefits, in comparison to the benefits that you would get should you dial in your sleep. So don't like avoid this or like think that you can do the other habits and not focus on your sleep. Moving on to the next thing, with this whole idea of less is more. Less is more is also in the sense of basically exposing our bodies to less poisons and less toxins. And nowadays, so many of those come in the form of the cosmetic and personal care products we use. Using less like artificial deodorants, less artificial neurotoxic toothpastes, less toxic sunscreen, less makeup if you're a woman, less toxic skincare like cleansers and even toxic moisturizers. Less is always going to be more. If, for example, you do want to, go out in the sun and you do have like really fair skin, you haven't built up your solar callus and tan yet, you can simply just use like a natural alternative compared to using a standard supermarket sunscreen, which is going to have like oxybenzone in it, for example, and it is going to give you cancer long term. These alternatives are all out there. It's really as simple as just like searching on YouTube, natural toothpaste alternative or like natural sunscreen alternative. In myself for toothpaste, I just use baking soda, coconut oil, and I brush like once a day, maybe more like once every other day. And my teeth are like pretty white purely because I'm focusing on just like my health in general, and my oral microbiome is very healthy. For deodorant, instead of using like the aluminium filled roll-on stuff or like the spray stuff that you're even going to inhale and will give you like lung respiratory issues, you can really just put like some baking soda under the armpits. So less is more in terms of like the frequency of use. Like you really don't need to use this stuff as much as they tell you do in the ads and like in how we're brought up in society. And then less is more in the sense that you want to use things with far less ingredients and far more natural, simpler ingredients. Moving on to the next thing, less is more in the sense of exercise as well. This is a little bit of a controversial one because maybe some of you guys do really ascribe to gym culture, to weightlifting, to living a very active lifestyle. While by no means do I condemn that, like I don't think you should be sedentary at all. That's not going to be great for like anything, for like your circulation, your lymphatic mobility, and just like the correct longevity and functioning of your body in it from a mechanical perspective. But there is a big issue that is plaguing our society today, and that is the pushing of over-exercising. And the pushing of exercising in the wrong ways, especially when people have such a poor base of health. The base being like their diet, their sleep, their rest, their recovery. Like we're being told today to exercise beyond our means, if that makes sense, beyond what our body is actually capable of. And to that point even more, we're being told to exercise in like artificially lit gyms where they use chemical fragrances and sprays, and we're under these blue lights that are disrupting our sleep. We're exercising late at night or early in the morning. All of these things are going to have greater harmful effects on our body than, the benefits that we do get from moving a little bit, from getting the blood flow going, from like mobilizing our lymphatic system. And then there's also the thing of like actually over exercising. Adult humans today, in society at least, don't actually understand what a healthy amount of exercise is. We purely base our exercise routines off a routine, off what these authority figures tell us we should be doing on a daily or weekly basis, compared to actually listening to our intuition. Which, going back to that lion example that I used at the start, the lion follows his intuition, his natural intuition, because on an intuitive biological level, we know that through evolution, through actually understanding ourselves better than any other doctor could, we understand what the healthy level of exercise is. So think about like a child, they know how much they want to play before they want to sleep. A dog at the park knows how much it wants to run before it wants to go home. All of these things, we just need to tap into that intuition a little bit more. We need to exercise with a smile on our face. We need to do things that, give us joy, that don't cause us pain. And we need to move, functionally, compared to lifting weights, which is only going to retard muscle coordination. So a lot of people think that like the first thing they need to do to get healthy is just to get like a gym membership. I'd say the first thing you need to do to get healthy is to fix all your sleep, get rid of all of the toxins that I've touched on, and then simply just like go for a walk outside, play a social sport, and not really overthink it so much. Because when you get to the point of overexerting yourself, so like going to the gym every single day for an hour, or like being a marathon runner, like these ultra highly stressful sports, you are going to be shortening your lifespan, you are going to be aging you, and now the data and studies are coming out to support this. It even just makes sense from like a thermodynamic, logical perspective. When you force your body to adapt, it's going to be taking away from your lifespan, from your vitality, from your biological bandwidth. So we can think about like telomere length, how many heartbeats we have, and even just like our nutrient reserves that we do have inside our body that we have to allocate to repairing the body. And then when you're adding excessive stress on top of that, we are going to be more prone to being in a deficient state and deficient place for the rest of our body's functions. So yeah, be lazy, less is more, exercise how you want to. When you get truly healthier, when you improve your diet, when you improve your sleep, you will want to move. You won't want to lie down all day. You'll want to move, but you'll also know when you want to rest. So listen to that. Now, for the fourth and final point, we're going to touch on food. So for those of you that are new to my channel and have never seen me before, you never seen me on Instagram or TikTok or anything, I do follow a raw animal-based diet. So the diet that is basically raw meat, raw eggs, raw milk. Those are like the main sort of staples. And this is the diet that's like most compatible with our evolution, with our biology. It digests, far more effortlessly. We can utilize far more nutrients in the actual food itself, and we're not going to be cauterizing, damaging, degrading, denaturing all of the great nutrients that are in these foods. They're also the foods that have the lowest amount of toxins. So as such, they're going to lead to the best results, best longevity, and they're not going to cause like any disease or dysfunction. The reason why this diet fits very well into this video is because it's a very, very lazy diet to follow. You literally just take the meat from your fridge onto your plate. You don't even have to put it on a plate, and then you just eat it. There's no preparation, there's no cooking. This is like the pinnacle of less being more. When you do cook it, you are going to be creating toxins, carcinogenic compounds, for example, and ultimately you're going to be getting less food, less nutrition, less beneficial probiotics that you actually paid for when you went to the store or you went to the butcher. In a more specific example, because these raw foods have the naturally occurring bacteria, the naturally occurring live enzymes, our bodies have to exert itself far less in order to digest these foods. So you'll notice when you eat these foods, it effortlessly digests, doesn't keep you up at night, there's no bloating, there's no indigestion, and really it is a very lazy way to get very, very healthy. In terms of starting out, I recommend that you always get like high quality, grass-fed, organic, never frozen raw meat. You can make a nice steak tartare. Even that can take a lot of preparation. So if you really want to go about it the very laziest way, just literally take it out of your fridge and just eat it completely raw. Most likely, unless your taste buds are completely adapted to the modern processed slave food, you should actually very much enjoy it. You should find it hydrating, refreshing, and enjoy like the mild flavor of it. Same thing goes for eggs. You can just suck eggs whole out of the shell. And then just on a more general level, if you're not going to be eating exactly how I eat, you can just focus on like more whole foods and go into like far greater efforts to prepare the most processed, effort-inducive food that maybe a lot of people are consuming nowadays. So whole foods, raw food ideally, animal-based foods, the foods that are compatible with our biology. You don't need to think too hard, just listen to your senses. We all know we enjoy eggs, we enjoy meat, we enjoy milk. These are the foods that our body craves and our body loves. So think less, eat these foods more. You're gonna feel a lot better for it. So yeah, guys, those are all the points I wanted to cover. Big picture, less is more. Expose yourself to less toxins, less environmental disruptors, less toxic poisonous food, cook less, stress less, exert your body less, and your body will reward you. Your body will be a lot more calmer, a lot more vibrant. You can have more energy. You're going to live longer compared to everyone who's like on this hamster wheel, trying really, really hard to chase a result that ultimately will come to them very, very easily if they just, chill out, think about it for a second, work a little smarter, and yeah, do a bit less. This whole video and philosophy of like doing less is more will absolutely get you greater results than you've ever experienced and that anyone else, even anyone else in your family, ever will experience. But if you do want to go about it in a more personalized, in a more specific, conscious, outlined way with private access to myself, as well as access to a community of like-minded young men and women who are on this same lazy health journey, then I recommend checking out my community, which I'll tell my editor to put as the first link in the description of this video. In there, you get access to a 21-day protocol to unlock 80% of your cognitive and physical potential in just 21 days. And then there's plenty of other modules covering everything from my advanced diet routine to detoxification to even self-actualization. So yeah, check that out. That's going to be linked in the description. Otherwise, guys, thank you for watching the video. Please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever. If you got value from this video, doing that simple step literally does just help this video get pushed a bit more to other people who may need this lazy way of getting healthier. And ultimately, you're going to be doing charity in the sense that you're going to be helping other people get healthier. So maybe you'll be that much more likely to go to heaven and you'll get better karma as a result. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.